morning, everyone. We plugged in?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you again. There's been some lags there in time, I realize that. And just been so busy doing so many different things. But good news is, looks like I've got a bright couple of weeks coming up where I can just talk to you a lot and get caught up on here. And I'm going to go over some eyes here. Had some oral surgery. Got that taken care of. At least going to be a while before I have some good teeth. I'm going to grow a third set here while I'm waiting. Absolutely. I want to get to these a lot of your questions because I'm running so far behind. And this morning, boy, I was up till like 2 or 3 last night, getting work done and stuff. So a little ratted out this morning. But I hope all of you are doing well. You know, I've had so many people in and out of here here in the last few weeks and a lot of discussions and stuff, and it just makes me real honored to be with a great group like all of you that are working on everybody and helping everybody. I think it's real imperative, important that all you guys on YouTube and Facebooks and all that you're working on your own sites and you're helping people realize we must bond. Those practitioners that are in the natural health field need to come more up toward where we are. It's at least invasive. It's properly focused. It's focused on the cause of things, and the cure rate we have is astronomical. So more naturopaths just don't come close to these levels of cure rates. Very few of them have cure rates. So it'd be nice to see a lot of us become as one. And if naturopaths around the world can't get with it, then we'll create our own school and leave them in the dust, because naturopathy is being insulted and naturopathic medicine is being crammed in people's face, which is wrong thinking. I suppose we needed an interim there, and there was a thought about having naturopathic physicians and naturopathists. And naturopathists would be what we are. We are pure, we are simplistic, we are scientific, we are dead on. Or at least, you know, we can all learn a lot more, that's no question. I think, and I've said this before, you guys are going to, especially a lot of you brainos like Ken out there, going to take this level of thinking way out there and, you know, better herbal formulas as we go on and things like that. Through the years, I've just tried to improve everything and make it stronger, better, you know, have a less impact in terms of dramatic healing crises and things like that. So let me come over and I'll get over some of these questions here of yours, and I appreciate your patience. Always remember, if you're in trouble or you have someone you're working with in trouble, you got to call, because I don't know when these will get up too. I get them today. Chris is real busy, and he does try to get it up the same day. And we have been discussion with a lot of you guys on the length of these videos. At first, YouTube only let us have 15-minute segments, and then suddenly they opened it up and gave us unlimited, kind of. So we'll divide these up shorter, and I need to get with Chris on that. So, yeah. Also, I want to do another spiritual video and sit down and have a nice spiritual discussion with all of you guys. And I was, I don't know where I was, but some things need to be, you know, we need to talk and grow, and spirituality is important. Doesn't matter what religion you belong to. Your belief systems should be separate than who you are, you know, and this is the problem. We use the mind and we use our emotions to experience creation, but these are the tools we use to have fun with, and yet we identify ourselves with the tools instead of identifying ourselves with us, who we are, the player with the tools. And it's very difficult because there's no definition out there of who you are. You can't define the all. You can't define the infinite. There's no finite words to describe the infinite. At least there are some, like the infinite, but it doesn't do it justice. Well, let's look at this. This is a question from 32 Arms. Wow, you knew 32 Arms. That's an interesting question. A little Medusa or something, or what do you call her? Not the Kala. Are there any herbs for hyperthyroid I may take, and connective tissue? It's a good question. I think an important question out there, guys. So I want you to think about this. Anytime you have a hyperactive case, you don't want to give anything for it. Like if you have a hyperactive thyroid, you don't want to give anything more for the thyroid. The thyroid's already going, woohoo, I'm not having fun. Leave me alone. Oh, more? All right. No. You have to detox because there's either inorganic iodine or iodine stuck in the thyroid or pituitary. There's some kind of chemical stimulating this, or just acidosis can stimulate hyperactivity, no question. In the end, it all ends up in hypo and then death, of course. And hyperactivity can be shared with hypoactivity. You can go back and forth, hyper-hypo. Just like your heart rate. Your heart rate can go tachycardia, which is fast, or bradycardia, which is low. And you can see brady-tachy and, hyper-hypo. You know when you see things like that these are stimulants. These are proteins, acids, chemicals that are creating this problem, whether in the central nervous system, in the pituitary, or in the thyroid itself. I wouldn't do anything. I would detox. And this holds true with goiters. Never treat a thyroid with a goiter problem because it isn't a thyroid problem. See what I'm saying? When you're looking at these problems, medical doctors will associate these problems with thyroid problems and remove thyroids and stuff. Goiters have nothing to do with thyroids in the sense that it isn't a thyroid problem. It's a lymphatic problem. Thank you. Big difference. The lymphatic problem becomes a thyroid problem. But if you go to causative factors first and realize a bunch of cells and two fluids, swelling, is that a cell or is that a fluid? Fluid. And then what kind of fluid would create swelling? Blood? Nah, base chemistry. Lymph, acid chemistry, edema, swelling, acidosis, absolutely. So you can trace that back. In terms of connective tissue, parathyroid. And it's possible to have a hyperthyroid and a hypoparathyroid. That's why I like glandulars that are, let's say, parathyroid induced. If I knew some strong herbs for the parathyroid and stuff like that, we would definitely move in that direction. As we get these stronger, and the problem is when we're looking at botanicals, the consciousness has always been treatment based. And I'm trying to get the herbalist on the planet to get out of that thinking. Get this concept of diseases out of this planet. It's a wrong concept. It's led the humans on this planet down a wrong road, and we're here to stop that. That's why we're here. It's just a wrong road humans been taking, and what it's done is financially and health-wise locked them in Hellville. Because the treatment of symptoms by pharmaceuticals does not lead to anything but Hellville, because there is no remedy. And symptoms get worse because there's no causative thinking behind that. They're chasing rainbows of genes and things like this. Of course there's genetic weaknesses. Hello! But to spend the amount of money and the amount of time and ignorance on this is just stupid. You could do that. If you're already going down the proper road, you can do that. I think I showed you guys this before, but I love these things. Whoever did these are just really good. Look at that. Everybody keeps hounding me. Should I have my fish oil? Should I have my fish oil? And I'm saying, well, really not into meat. So fish oil, okay. How about omega-6s and 9s? But you read other people's stuff that say, you got to have it, huh? I haven't seen a primate alive go wring out a fish and have fish oil because they needed fatty acids. This minority list, hello dear one. If lymph stagnation is systemic, and this is a good question, and I think I tried to address this the other day, but if lymph system is systemic, why do we only experience pain in certain points in the body, like a wrist, knee, ankle, or not always at the same time, even at no pain? In other words, why does pain travel? It's a good question. It's a good question in the sense that wherever I have the most activity, I am creating the most acids. When I lose my ability to filter the lymph, you're going to feel those areas that you've been working, like knees, like hips, like joints, because they're always in flux, they're always in activity, creating additional acids. Second, whenever there's a genetic weakness, Jensen pointed this out, and it's easy to see in the iris. I think I've showed you. We're going to go one more time over some eyes, and then I think I'm going to kind of, that should be enough education for you. I want to go over some more eyes, and I'll touch on that again. What it looks like in the eye when the lymph system in a lacuna or a weakened area, what that looks like. And it consistently shows us. Once in a while we see lacunas without that lymph rim. But I can say that in most cases there's a lymph rim, a thicker lymph rim around a lacuna, showing that lymph flow in those weaker areas are obstructed to a certain degree or restricted to a certain degree. Jensen had commented on this to a minor degree. So really we need to understand that. So this is why you see those. Then just genetic weaknesses in all ways. Bowels affecting brains, etc., etc., etc. Depends your genetic lineage, what's weak, what doesn't allow this to flow, that to flow. We know the body's so interconnected. They're just, it works as one. It works as one, and we have to understand that even detox works as one. When you start detoxing, it isn't just in one area, it's in all areas. And how come healing crises have pain in different areas for a day or two and then gone and went to another area and there and gone and went to another area? And traveling is easy to understand because you have a nervous system. And that's a signal. That's how the signals get to the brain. So I don't know how fast a signal can get to a brain from the foot, but I imagine quicker than you can blink your eye. So it's really interesting how all that is. This is TC John, 1985. Hey, man. Can you please explain to me more on what you advise? Dear Doc, well, I'm so glad my question, oh, good deal. Suicide thoughts, pimples, hep C, etc., etc. Let me see, what is parasite or, I don't know what those are. Is that marshmallows you hold? Marshmallows you hold? Yeah, I don't know what, I'd have to go back and look at that. Where can I buy lymphatic capsule in allopathy pharmacy? Well, there's, I don't know how many companies currently, because I haven't been looking at other companies, that have lymphatic formulas. And so I'll see, but you can research that. I think probably 20 years ago I was looking at a lot of the companies, and I only found one, I think, or two that had any lymphatic formulas at all. So research your herbs, and in respective countries where you can't get our herbs, definitely get some books and start researching your herbs in that country and put together some formulas. Then I'll help you with some percentages and stuff like that, and put you some formulas if you can't get our formulas in that country. And if you can't afford our herbs, then for sure start putting together your formulas. Some of you guys already are, and I'm real proud of you for doing that. It's just that they're the only real tools that we have, especially for the vegetarians, which I'm one. And my body doesn't handle glandulars well either, but I do use them in my practice, and at least for now. I'm sure that as we can get some formulas to make up for that, my one concern is the patient or the individual. Let's see, this is Dee Dee. Hey Dee Dee, thanks so much for the letter, honey. On the channel, I watch all your videos. Thanks, sweetheart. You said that I am a time bomb of lymph wanting to explode out. I know that is true because I have been into the emergency room twice in the past 16 months. Oh, wow. Because of detox crisis. Now, you see, this is where the problem is with this poor lady, is that some detox symptoms do land you in the emergency room, and we can't have any control over that. The thing that emergency rooms, I wish we had a better handle on that, because really, the charge that some people get from that is insane and ridiculous, but a lot of times there's minimal help. And ERs are good for stabilizing. That's all I can tell you. And I love emergency rooms, spend a lot of years in them. Depends on your ER doc, to be honest with you. It always depends on the medical doctor and where their consciousness is at to how they interact with people. Sometimes you end up in an ER telling them you're on a detox and they look like you're stupid. So it's time medical doctors get brushed up. If they don't want to enter this field, stay away from it, but then get with your field and use homeopathics or something. Use something that doesn't hurt people. That's the only thing we're saying. If you're going to treat symptoms, have at it. But don't use toxic chemicals that are killing people and actually toxifying people. And then of course, the cancer treatments are criminal. And everybody is laughing at it, but you look at that latest research last week. And that now makes using chemo a crime, in my opinion. Right, flat out. Other times I get through it at home. Well, honey, Dee Dee, you might have to slow down a bit, sweetheart. If you're that toxic, and I read your eyes and it said that way, slow down or something, till you get the edge off, till you get things kind of moving. You could do an 80-20, 70-30, 80-20 raw to 20 cooked, steamed, that sort of thing. You could slow down a little bit instead of really pounding it, because some people are so toxic. It's like when you open the doors, it's like a herd of cattle trying to go out the gate at the same time. This time I did a 2-week melon detox and then off for a week. Then a week I had a massive kidney infection. See, that's what I'm saying. When you're detoxing, you're pulling all your lymph into kidneys that are sitting there going, what? What's this? Because they haven't been filtering. So they can't filter, even on a small watermelon fast, they can't even filter that. So that's really saying a lot about what's going on with you, sweetheart. Get those adrenals and kidneys and pound those babies. You might have to take some extra kidney tincture or something like that to get those kidneys to filter. You'll see why I use herbs. And don't anyone get a negative on herbs, because you'd be barking down the wrong road. They are your only true helpers. And especially when we get to the point where we don't need to use glandulars. So they are helpful in this situation. You're in a situation without herbs, what you have is someone going on raw, just like I did. I didn't have herbs starting. I wasn't so toxic, even though I was full of mucus from all the milks. I didn't have that bizarre and radical, like tumors popping out on you and things like that type of healing crisis. Thank God. But I have sat and walked with tens of thousands that have. So I don't know what to say. And just say that when you're on raw and just the raw is pounding your kidneys from moving lymph, you got to get on herbs for the kidneys and adrenals, and then work that way, or slow up a little bit, because your kidneys aren't tolerating what you're putting in it. And especially when you get a UTI, urinary tract infection from that, you don't have to run to the ER and you don't have to take antibiotics, but what you should do is get a kidney formula and say Parasite M, and you would take a dropper full every 2 hours or every 3 hours, and that'll pull that right out of there. See? So you really want to work that way and get the kidneys filtering better, Dee Dee, and work and get that out of there, because your lymph is obvious. And this is a good case where the eyes are confirming what this poor soul is working with, and her lymph system. Sometimes we're waking up to horror. I woke up to horror when I looked at my genetic weaknesses. I went, ho, wow, oh God, no, that's not me. I don't feel them. They gave me, she went to the hospital with severe pain. They obviously gave her antibiotics in a drip, and when I got home before taking my prescription, I called your office because they didn't know if there was something else I could do. They couldn't advise either way, so I took the antibiotics for 10 days. I don't know who couldn't advise either way, but I'm going to find out, Dee Dee. And, we're not medical doctors. We can't advise on diseases, but a urinary tract infection isn't a disease. So the thing is, they should have told you to go on the kidney formula, and I'll make sure I'll find out who told you they couldn't advise either way. They're trying to be real cautious out there because the government, and things like that. It isn't like we've had any freedom in this country. Not at all. If you think this country is free and constitutional, they've been throwing that in our faces. We've been under control for so long. We're more communist country now than we've ever been in that way. Read the Communist Manifesto if you ever have it. I've got it. Read it, and your eyes will open up pretty big. Now, the first time I was in so much pain all over my body and head that I was on the floor in severe pain. The pain would build to the point where I would throw up. Ooh. Well, bowels or cerebellum, that's for sure. Before detoxing at all, I felt like I was 120 years old and was told by the doctor that I had fibromyalgia. Whenever you're diagnosed with fibromyalgia, pain in the muscles, or lupus, or Lyme's, or RA, rheumatoid arthritis, or any arthritis, this is systemic. This is systemic inflammation, systemic acidosis, systemic lymph stagnation. Chronic. Because, and this goes back to this one lady's question about how come some people have pain and some people don't. Time, chronicness, etc., also play a major role. How chronic your lymph system is plays a major role in your pain levels, no question about it. So, all this is just a big finger at, oh, look, your lymph system isn't working. Well, your proof is when you start to eat raw foods, you get UTIs. So right there shows you massive kidney and adrenal problems that are not allowing that to filter. And so when you start pulling these wastes into the kidneys like they should be, the kidneys are showing you why you're having problems because they're not performing for you. You're throwing more in and they're going, whoa, 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 whoa. Long story short, I found you. Oh, thanks, honey. I'm 49 years old, female, and have lost 20 pounds. Please give me some tips on detoxifying gracefully. Can be scary. Okay, so this is exactly why, honey, I'm doing. You really want to get a kidney formula, whatever your affordability is. Kidney formula, Parasite M, every 2 hours or 3 hours. Probably if you've overcome that, the raging part of the UTI, I would say this. I'd say go up, take a dropper full of those, get an adrenal formula, and say a lymphatic 1 capsule, and go down that road and do the kidney formula about 4 times a day, a dropper full, and the lymphatic 1 capsules about 2 or 3 times a day. Start with that, and of course an adrenal formula, and start with that and start moving that lymph. You might want to get the pure adrenals, the 200 milligram adrenals from us, and hit on your adrenals a little bit, 1-3 times a day. Sounds to me like that is problematic. I don't feel like 120 anymore, but have a long way to go. You're doing good, Dee Dee. Hang in there, sweetheart. I've been on the Hill LT, lymphatic 1, kidney and bladder 1. There you go, adrenal formula for 4 months. Kick up the bladder, kidney and bladder, kick up the adrenal formula, sweetheart. Just kick that up a little bit more. Add another dosage in the day, or if you feel your kidneys, go every 3 hours and take a dropper full. Might want to get some Parasite in, keep the fungus down a little bit, and just go down that road there. And this case applies to all of you out there. When you feel like you're too toxic to detoxify, or when you start, you get rashes or anything like that, welts, anything like that, go slower. Get in his adrenals and kidneys. There's the core right there. Clean up the bowels. Nothing there's offensive there, like a stomach and bowel and a lymphatic, and start cleaning that gut too. Clean the eliminative organs, and that have a residual effect all through the whole body by doing that, because the buck stops at those guys. Either you're eliminating or you're not, and if you're not, you're holding, and if you're holding, you're developing putrefaction, acidosis, etc., etc., etc. It's that simple. The endocrine gland is stomach and bowels parasite. She's kicking butt. Okay, look at there. She's been on the endocrine, stomach and bowels, Parasite M, kidney 2, and lymphatic 4 for 1 month. How long do I take them for? I would make sure you're always on kidney number 1. If you use kidney number 2, use it with kidney number 1, which is advisable in your case, to use both kidney formulas, because there's where your crux of your problem is. How long do I take them for? I would say make sure you're filtering in your urine. Check your urine for filtration. When you see filtration, nix A on the kidney number 2, so you're down to kidney number 1. You're going to have to stay on that for a while. I'd set up a 6-month plan. Go for it. Stop in 6 months. Reassess myself. See how far I got. Take a look at my eyes. See what I've done. And then decide what you want to do. I think everyone should hit it for 2-3 years. You don't have to spend money for herbs and stuff, but at a higher level of intensity, I would do this. And for those that are doing the raw, I look at Babe. She's way over a year now. Got to be 380 days or something, or 70 some days. But keep in mind, Babe's getting way out there. When you get way out there, you got to walk real slow back. You got to walk real slow back, because I think you guys are on Facebook and communicating with her, know that, the sensitivity to about everything around you starts to occur, particularly foods. So you can get way out there. I mean, the average healer out there, in terms of naturopaths, physicians, stuff, have no clue. Unless you've been way out on a fruitarian level for at least a year, you have no idea where you can go and how bad most foods are on the planet. When you get that high, you start to recognize everything that has a negative connotation to your magnetics, and that becomes problematic. Even some people have so much body consciousness, they feel everything going on in their body, and it's just unreal. You got to back away from that and back away from the human body. That's what happened to me. I started feeling everything going on in my body. I go, oh, I'm too close to my physical body. I got to back away from it and let my physical body go through whatever and detach myself from that. Sounds wild, but you're not your body anyway. So you got to start talking that way. You got to start putting yourself in who you are and being who you are. If you want to experience that, you have to move into that. It's like if you want to experience detox or health, you've got to wear the robe. You gotta ride the bull. You gotta do it. You can't stand on the sideline and sit there and make accusations and decisions like all these people that made some of these negative comments. Wear the robe and then we'll talk. Who said that I had candida and fungal problems? I would love to know what I could do to heal that up. Sulfur too. Well, use the GI broom. See if you can pull that stuff out of you, dear one. See you in September. It'll be a pleasure to see you, Dee Dee. All right, this is MAGDA. Thank you for the great work you do. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Maggie, is this Maggie from Ireland? I have a question about my auntie. She had a surgery to remove a pituitary gland tumor 6 months ago. Very popular tumors today. The surgeon removed it through her nose. That's a good surgeon. That was a good surgeon. Holy crap. I suppose. I don't know. That's amazing. Now it's bigger than ever and affecting her vision and health in a negative way. Well, here's the problem. And the problem, listen to it, the surgeon, the problem is with not fixing the cause. The problem is treating symptoms. There's times we have to have surgeons pull tumors, but it's kind of like in the black salve scenario. And we had a lively discussion a couple of days ago on that around here, that you must realize that when you open up, you're pulling a tumor no matter where. If you do it before you get the kidneys filtering the lymph system, this is going to be let's say you're pulling a tumor off a breast here. If you pull this tumor before you get the kidneys filtering, this hole is your next kidney. And you'll see it every time. That's true with decubitus on butts. It's all over. That becomes your next kidney because they don't understand that it is kidneys that are the key factors of elimination. Liver doesn't eliminate outside. You have to look at your eliminative organs and how the body eliminates its internal waste, whether it's digestive, whether it's cellular or parasitic. How does the body culminate and get rid of these types of waste? Obvious. We have obvious eliminative organs. Skin, 2 kidneys. Well, the skin is referred to the 3rd kidney, so we have 3 kidneys and a long bowel. So this is just understanding that and getting those organs healthy, because the problem starts when they go down and then everything backs up. And that's what it's been. High protein diets have been destroying bowel tissue and kidney tissue, let alone creating extreme acidosis, blah, 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 putrefaction, a lot of stinky bodies. But for you meat eaters out there, having a piece of dead animal once a week, okay, or twice a week. But if you're going to detox, set that crap aside and enter it later. Let me see here. Now it's bigger than ever. So now this lady, if this is your auntie, sweetheart, you've got to really get her on a high fruit, berry, and melon diet. You get the kidneys, you go after the kidneys, you go after the adrenals, you go after the lymph system, and you go after that gut. You need to go after the gut on this case. Anything up here, always realize it's tight. This is just one big long trunk of a tree, or big long embryonic trunk, or one big long gut. And you just got it all the way out and all the way up, and it's all influenced. You've got to clean. You can build so much mucus in the chest area, it'll clog your head. Notice that? And you cough, get all of this out, you start to see your sinus drainage. It's all connected. So you have to start cleaning. Herring's law of cure. Cure comes from the inside out, head down. No, that is not true. Now, you'll see when you're detoxifying people, it is inside out, but the problem is that the kidneys are the eliminative organ, so anything close to the kidney starts clearing first, and it works itself out like that. I can tell you, watch detox, you'll see it. You can get rid of a prostate tumor or a uterine tumor quicker than you can a brain tumor. Now, I'd also, and I'll tell you guys, we haven't talked about this, but those battling cancer and stuff, or those battling a real sluggish lymph system, get on the thymus, raw thymus, pure raw thymus, and take one twice a day. And if you can't do that, and can't afford that, do some thymus thumping here, and get those T cells activated, get that thymus activated. Sometimes I forget some of the things that I need to do. We're just so busy, but always think about that thymus gland. One case was on court TV years ago down in Miami where a young couple was raising their baby raw, and the baby was highly underdeveloped and died. So the state charged them with manslaughter or something. And so saying that they're raw food and stuff, and it was like, whoever prosecutor, it was probably one of those. I mean, I've seen a lot of prosecutors, and I don't have any respect for the law in this country anymore, especially federal judges and stuff. You're going to have to earn respect of the people back, and a lot of you guys are just willing to ride with policy. But this prosecutor decided to prosecute. Now, you could never, ever, till hell freezes over, prove that a baby formula is better than raw foods. Better coconut and almond milk and all that stuff. You couldn't prove it. Matter of fact, for anyone to suggest that a chemical formula would be better for you than nature, probably needs to get off the planet and go visit some place like Mars or something, and play with those people. But you can't keep lying to people and using power to overcome the populace and shove these crap down their throats. So luckily, in Miami, there was a raw food pediatrician. He got into court and pretty much leveled the field right there. And what they found was the baby was born with a very small, underdeveloped thymus gland, and that was the problem. So they found her not guilty. But how insane for those couple to go through that. How insane. That prosecutor should have then been prosecuted for a frivolous prosecution. A lot of frivolous prosecutions because I'm a prosecutor and I get your head cleaned out, ear candle your ears, that sort of thing. Now, her doctor said radiation is too dangerous. Thank you, good doctor, due to its location and size, but that's not something she would ever consider doing. Look at the guy that threw himself off that bridge the other day because he had inoperable brain cancer, threw himself off the bridge and killed himself. Something else she would ever consider doing. Now they want to remove it by surgery through her skull. It is growing at a great speed and affecting the surrounding tissue. I suggested a raw fruit diet, and endocrine, upper circulation, lymphatic, and kidney formulas to her. What would you suggest to be? Well, first of all, if it's growing, this is what you got to do. Put her on a fruit fast, fruit and berries, grapes, blueberries, blackberries, cherries, all right? Hit her hard. That's all she does. You could even do a little water fasting, but I would hit kidney formulas, 2 kidney formulas, the lymphatic 1 capsules. That's what I do to myself, lymphatic 1 capsules. I'd hit lymph node 2. I would probably hit lymphatic 4. That's 3 lymphatic formulas. Got to be careful. So I would do probably a half a dropper of lymph node 2 for a while. At the same time, GI broom, stomach and bowel. Don't touch the pituitary. Hit the adrenal glands, and just don't touch anything up here, and don't get anything going. Don't get anything going. Yeah, the more work, the more acids, the more lymph, the bigger the tumors. That's why I say in exercise, slow down, relax. Don't create more of a burden on the body right now. She needs to totally relax and get on this program and get this moving. And she might be able to, if she can start reducing it quick enough, she'll be okay. If not, surgeon's going to have to go in and take it out. But if she doesn't do this, she's going to grow another one. People don't get it. You know, there was a surgery a couple of years ago. This black surgeon had this little 6-year-old or 8-year-old, and he had her skull open and was operating on a brain tumor. And he was talking to the camera, really nice fella. And he's talking to the camera and everything, and he said, "Well, this is the 4th or 5th time we've been in here, and now this tumor's from the radiation we gave her." Anybody listening? I was on Discovery Channel or something. It's like, hello. He knew it. But there's nothing else they can do. Well, medical doctors, get this. There's other people in the world that can do things better than you. Start opening your eyes and get off that ego and have these people come in and help. You know, if we work together, surgeons and good naturopaths that know high-level detoxification, we can save a ton of people that are dying. If that's not meant to be, it won't be then, you know. But we have to act. God didn't. Everybody sits waiting for God to come around. I have news. God's already here, and I'm looking at a whole bunch of you. So, your mom's in trouble, Maggie. Got to get her going. No time to diddle-dally or play around with this one. Gary. Hey, Gary. Has to learn how to mix the cocktails that Doc speaks. For example, he repeatedly refers to the parsley, dandelion, beet combo. Yeah, you know what? I'm one of those guys that have been a raw foodist since I was 20. So I'm not much of a preparer or cook. And living in my van early on for a lot of years and RVs, I really didn't do a lot of juicing because I did a lot of eating and I wasn't really into vegetables. So I really didn't do that. Later on, then I got juicers and started juicing a lot more, especially when I had health food stores and stuff. But parsley, dandelion, and beet are a great combo. If you can add anything else you want to that. But beet is so powerful. Someone said one time to me, you need to try a 3-day beet juice fast. And I had Biota beet juice, which is bottled, pasteurized beet juice in my store, and you know, I'm single, and so I'm okay. So I had got a little juicer thing, and so I was trying to use between raw and Biota beet, but for 3 days, and it's like I'll never recommend that fast to nobody. You know, you might try a beet fast for 1 day. Realize your pee's going to be red and some red in the stool, but real strong fast. Liver, kidneys, beets, whoo. So the great combination. You don't have to rip the body. Body can only do things so fast. So a good parsley, dandelion, beet, equal parts, be fine. But that's all kidneys, adrenals, liver. That's all good stuff, boy. That's all really good stuff. Parsley, dandelion, top herbs on the planet, just good stuff. I can't say one herb's better than another. They're definitely more powerful herbs. That's just my failing, because nothing's better than another. So they're all good. You just have to find out what their specialties are, and that's what we should be looking at. What all is herbs good for? Not all what chemicals are good for. What all are herbs good for? Their actions. Such remedies is it to be made like a tea? No, this is really like a juice. Fresh parsley, dandelion greens, and beets bulbs. Just make a juice, you know, like a juice. Green drink. Thinking there might be how to make herbal teas for dummies. Well, herbal teas are easy. Whatever tea, whatever herbs you're going to use, whatever combination you want to make, you just make a raw and a teaspoon per. How strong you want your tea, but you know, a heaping teaspoon for 3 cups of water. If it's leaves, you don't want to boil. If it's leaves, you want to simmer. If it's roots, you want to boil for about 5 minutes. But if it's leaves and flowers, you don't need to boil those babies. They give their love pretty quick. So you just have to lightly steam them. And then, and you can do that for 5 to 7 minutes. But if it has roots in it, it's, you know, kind of on the light side of a boil for 5 minutes. Maybe let it sit there and get happy with all itself again and potent, and then take it down if you want. Whatever you choose to do with it. Will you share with me if your reply will be video posted simply in writing? Well, Gary, I guess it's going to be by video, man. I am a newly converted to the awakened self over thee and all. I love how he said it. Look at this. Newly converted to the awakened self. I love that, Gary. You're good, man. Pretty good. Thank you, my friend. This is January 1st. On January 1st, 2012, my 20-year-old son awakened me into becoming healthy. Good son. And a good dad you are, my friend, because you did wake up with that. Oh, man, look. I love that. That's good. Isn't that a good story? He's been drinking 4 liters of distilled water daily. Way too much, man. Yeah, there's that thought out there, but it's a ridiculous thought. Yeah, you're drinking way too much water. If you eat that much fruit, you'll have plenty of water. So if you had 4 liters of fruit, basically, but that's way too much liquid. You don't see any animal getting that amount of liquids. It's just too much, and you're not. Drinking that much water doesn't equal health. It's just I don't know whoever wrote that and came up with that, but I don't know, But I would come off of that and drink when thirsty, but hit my raw food diet. That's where you get plenty of good water, ionized, oxidized, alive. Have no health issue, but for elevated cholesterols. Well, elevated cholesterols means elevated acids. Elevated acids means a restricted lymph flow. Restricted lymph flow means restricted kidney and adrenal performance for you, man. And that, if you're elevated, depends how many years to whether it's plaquing or not, and that's where the iris comes in. It'll show us if it's plaquing. If it's plaquing, then you're walking down stroke or heart attack lane. So getting raw is just a good way to clean yourself out, which I'm now on as of today, finished with my meds after 5 years and 6 months on 10 milligrams of Crestor, and will now renew the script. And will not renew the script. Good, because that doesn't stop you from stroking and heart attacking. You've got to fix the problem, and of course this is their lymph system and acids. Recent blood work has revealed elevated potassium levels, and researching this has again led me to ask you, how might I consider addressing this matter? Kidneys. So this is what I'm saying. Elevated cholesterol goes right back to kidney and adrenals, restricting lymph flow and filtration. Therefore, acidosis kicks up, and therefore the body goes into a defense mode against acids to protect itself from decay and harm and mutation from the acids. And cholesterol is the #1 anti-acid of the human body, as far as I'm concerned. And cholesterol is probably the #2. So, along with the adrenal steroids. But we're talking cholesterol here. Same thing. So this is the thing, and the elevated potassium is going right to your kidneys, man, right to your kidneys. Next thing you'll feel your lower back. It just goes on. Prostate starts having prostatitis, blah, 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 blah. It's that same, it's a journey everybody makes. Eating a healthy man ought to. Several fruits daily. Reduce proteins. Eliminate proteins, Gary, just for a little while. Or just for a little while. And tear into this, man. Tear it up and see what you can get. Berries, melons, and veggies too. Occasionally indulging in meat and dairy? No. Don't occasionally indulge in any dairy. Meat, okay, if you want it, but dairy, no. But if you're detoxing, help yourself a little bit. Get those kidneys back. Look at your creatinines in your blood. Look at the creatinine. See what your creatinine is in your blood. You don't want over 0.6. And you can have 0.6 and still have kidney problems, let me tell you. At least the kidneys won't be breaking down on you, but you won't be filtering. And it's interesting, the filtration. Occasionally also take soy milk, dump that. Grain cereals, dump that. 1 time a week. Yeah, okay. Let me see here. This is John. John Everyman. Hey, my friend. I am about to make an appointment to get my second amalgams removed. Good guy. I've been working on my lymph for the past 2.5 years and feel that I'm finally ready for this procedure. Yeah, get it out. Just get them out. You don't even. For me, there's not a time. Get them out. You got to detox anyway. You got to clean your lymph system anyway. That'll pull all the mercury out. Absolutely. So I wouldn't wait. But good, go ahead and do that. Due to my finances, I'm just going to cheap regular. That's okay. I'm telling you, it's too late anyway. You've had leaching for years anyway. What's a little more? You know what I'm saying? In other words, have them take it out. Everybody's got to red bag it anyway. And dentists, there's a certain protocol removing amalgams that's out there, and every dentist is supposed to follow these protocols. You know, you do have other people suit up and go nuts over that, but remember, a lot of us guys have played with mercury like this. So just keep in mind that detox is how you clean all these residues out of you, and just go that way. We have to. But it isn't just mercury. We're surrounded in so many toxic neurotoxins and excitotoxins and things that, you know, everybody needs to clean their body out. I'm thinking along the lines of drinking a big glass of fresh cilantro juice immediately prior. Well, that's not a bad idea. That's actually a good idea. A big jug of cilantro, parsley, all of that to start flushing that out of you. Absolutely. That would be a good take, and probably for a week or so after it. But keep in mind, keep going on that lymph system as well. That's a system that's got to clean up here. Blood doesn't do the cleaning. The lymph does the cleaning. In other herbs, I could juice as well. Yeah, you're right on, man. Charcoal, you're right on. No, you're just right on. You're all right on with what you're thinking. It's just what you do. You do it. Your thinking is right on, John. My question is to you. What do you recommend I do to reduce any toxic exposure from it? Just what you said. It's all you can do. It's plenty, more than enough, but get detoxing. Move your lymph, get your kidneys and adrenals, because you can't pull this out unless you're filtering it out. You can pull what you can through the bowels. What exactly is the best way I could go about this? I would do exactly what you said, and then I would also take lymphatic, say 4 liquid, go to your lymphatic 1 capsules, do GI Broom. That's full of all of that anyway. It's full of the strong astringents. It's full of the charcoal and bentonite. So use the GI Broom, and it'll pull all the other stuff too. To Chris, I sent Dr. Morse a big thank you the other day, but I occasionally did it through a personal YouTube message. Could you see? Oh, thanks, my friend. Thanks, Kevin. Well, we got John up here. We got Kevin down here. Kevin, this must be Kevin. Sorry, Kevin, John. Sorry, guys. We'll have take off and pull those things out. And I want to thank you, Kevin, for that. Sorry about that, man. I got one name up here and one name down here. This is John up here, but Kevin down here. I don't get it. Getting amalgams removed. Okay, this is from Verne. Bernie, I know it's important to deal with the adrenals when dealing with MS, which I have. The adrenal glandulars have a bovine concentrate, and I'm unable to take them because I am a vegetarian. There is a vegetarian version. I looked that up. Piece of crap. There's so many better herbal adrenal formulas out there, Keep checking on adrenal formulas. I looked that up, matter of fact, for you. I've got it right here. Vitamin C, I'm not really into that, especially in the form that that's in. Calcium, Panax ginseng, okay on the Panax if you're a male, not if you're a female. Definitely Siberian ginseng. That's the one thing I've seen in here that is a good adrenal herb. Ashwagandha can be a good adrenal herb. Parsley's good. Dandelion greens are good. Licorice is always super good if you have low blood pressure. Licorice is the better one in terms of the immediate response to the adrenals. So astragalus, that's a adaptogen, and of course that's going to be good for everything. But your berries are more known for your herbs that are for your glands than anything as well. So I think this is a mediocre formula myself for the adrenals. No offense to the company or anything else. It's just a formula that I probably would not use at all. There's so many great adrenal herbs out there. Pteridgium, what a name you gave me here to look up, and I did look at this because this is a name. Everybody had fun trying to pronounce this, Pterygum. This is funny because I had never heard of the name. It's a tongue-twisting name, and I don't make it my job to try to sit there and remember how to pronunciate these ridiculous names for things. But it's a non-cancerous growth of the clear, thin tissue, conjunctive, that lies over the white part of the eye. That's your little, like your little fatty tumors or your little yellow tumors. You see them on a lot of these eyes. Matter of fact, you can see some of them making maybe perhaps here. Different growths. You know what? When you're acidic and toxic, you can expect nature to grow anything on you, just like fungus grows on, anything like that. It's just nature. So the real issue is toxemia. And so when you have growths over the eyes, which I've seen them real bad, I can see them cover the whole eye. Again, this is just a bunch of cells and two fluids, just like any other part of the human body. And we get all kinds of growths running through us and everything else. And particularly when you see what problem? Lymphatic stagnation. Because all these growths are trying to be protective in their process, except for things like tumors and things like this, but they're still the body's effort to closet, if you will, or limit, or exclude, or hide, or hold, or separate acid toxemia from the rest of the cells. It's just a natural process that I thought was pretty smart of the Supreme Being. Not understanding that at this date in the 21st century, oh, Biden said 20th century, okay. All right, what, okay, are we, okay, I thought we, okay, 21st century. Of course, you know, I mean, that's what's going to happen, like this poor soul that's growing pituitary tumors. You know, and it can, these things can grow all over that, wherever there's weaknesses, wherever there's more toxicities developing, you know, that sort of thing. And remember, inside, too, you've got all kinds of things going on. Proteins are putrefying in the human body. You got fermentation going on. That's after absorption. Monica, I'm going to try to get in here Thursday and really get down on these for you guys. You know, I really am. I apologize, and I hope this will help you this morning there. Monica, I recently emailed my case with my eyes. I feel stuck in my health journey. A week in on resuming antipsychotics, I'm the schizophrenia case, as per suggestion of doctors and supportive others, because I can't hold down a job, my breasts hurt more, sedative, and I have a whole other myriad of side effects. Well, sweetheart, you got to get at least up on as much raw food as you can. You know, the problem with sometimes detoxifying in some of these emotional and mental type of issues where the adrenals and thyroids are involved, you could have some bumpy roads, especially if you've been on antipsychotics for a while. You could have some bumpy roads. I hope you have some love and friends around you and maybe work with you. The Facebook people are working with a lot of people, and work with yourself and work yourself slowly out of this. If all raw is too hard on anybody, certainly cut down to 80% raw and 20%. There's a way to go real slow, you know, if you have to. And use these pharmaceuticals, since you've already been on them, to maybe help you. But I would look at the herbal side to help you. There's flower essences of every kind, well known, used in mental health clinics worldwide. There's the thyroid and the adrenals, focusing on the tissues that are responsible for giving you the symptoms. There's, of course, the lymph system, which is the aggravative or the causative side of this. So you got to work on all those things. And you can support yourself by working on the glands. Always when you have problems, whether it's schizophrenia or bipolar, and your adrenals are down, your thyroids are down, you got to get the glands up. Getting the glands healthy again in the human species eliminates 98% of all mental illness. So get those endocrine glands up. And I hate to use the word mental illness, because all that leads to connotations that just isn't true to a person. Sometimes a person like this can feel trapped, and they're diagnosed with these names that give, you know, it puts you in boxes, and I don't like that. So you got to work yourself out of this. Whether you get a team on the YouTube, I know. Got my 5-minute warning, and I got to go anyway. So I'll come back to you, sweetheart. Sore breast, lymphatics. You really got to move on your emotional instability. Adrenals. Your adrenals are chronic. I hate to say it, but this is the time where we use a glandular on someone like this. These are very chronic glands, this is going to be classic cases all over the place, guys. Places like this, and we got to. I'll introduce you to the Running Fox Farms flower essences here. Matter of fact, I have one here. Let me show you this one. Can you see that? I don't know how well you can see that. Running Fox Farms. This is Moonshine Yarrow. Moonshine Yarrow I've used for rape, for people hysterical. We used it in the Oklahoma bombing on paramedics and firemen. and I've used it in the ER a lot, and it brings you into a semblance of consciousness. And this is something I'd recommend, Monica, you get some flower essences to help you on this journey of wellness. And at the same time, have the Facebook people help you there, dear. I'll come back to this one either today if we have a no-show, or I'll come in here and finish it over the week. So, thank you guys so much. Thanks for being patient with me. Finally, my decks are getting cleared. There's so many, we're trying to put the club together. There's so many things I'm writing but so I apologize, and I hope you're all doing well and have a fun day. And enjoy yourselves. Be in the now always, and just be a God lover. See God in everything. Don't forget that. Every little atom, see it as God. See God as the all of the all. And know that that all life is being guided with consciousness and awareness. It's hard sometimes to understand that at this level, because the duality swing is quite large. So you tend to see negative and positive quite abruptly here, as opposed to some of the higher worlds where you don't see such a swing. You see more toward the Godhead of allness. So just keep working on these, and we'll have a good spiritual conversation coming up, hopefully the end of this week. So you all have a fun day. I've got to write this up for Chris so he can get it posted. And I love you all very much.